It's no surprise that the US gets left out when it comes to a lot of cool cars. Today, I'm going to be talking about 5 cars I wish were sold in the US. Now, just for the sake of this list, I'm only going to be talking about cars that are made in 2025, just because the list would be extremely long. So if there's a car out there that you know is not sold in the US, leave it in the comments. So first on the list, I'm going to talk about the Ford Focus ST. So we used to get the Ford Focus, but in 2018 it got discontinued in the United States. For the rest of the world, Ford still sells the Focus and it's thriving. In fact, the only car that Ford sells in the United States is the Mustang, which is really unfortunate because I honestly think that Ford does a really good job at making a fun, lightweight, compact sports car. Now let's quickly go over some components and specs of the car. So the 2025 Ford Focus ST has a 2.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that delivers 276 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, and that's mated to a 6-speed manual transmission. It has a curb weight of 1,437 kg, that is 3,169 pounds. So pretty lightweight, but let me know what you think. The next 2 cars on the list are both from the same company, and I've actually considered moving to Australia because of these cars. And the first one on the list is going to be the Toyota Hilux. So the closest thing we get to the Hilux is the Tacoma. Toyota Tacoma is a very good truck. The problem is it doesn't come with the vast amount of engine options and body styles that the Hilux does. The Hilux comes with many trims and many engine options, but by far the most popular is the 2.8 liter turbo diesel. That combined with a manual transmission, these Hiluxes run for hundreds of thousands of miles. And it's pretty surprising that we don't get this in the United States. Now I'm assuming the reason isn't that Toyota thinks this wouldn't sell good in the States. I think if this was in the United States, people would really like these trucks, considering how much Americans love their turbo diesel pickup trucks. No, I think the reason why these trucks aren't brought to the United States is just regulation. Other countries have different standards for emissions, and because of that, I just think the Hilux, it would cost too much and just wouldn't be worth importing into the United States. The next car on the list is the GR Yaris. Now, I know we kind of get this with the Toyota Corolla, but the Yaris and the Corolla are 2 separately different cars. I know that they both have all-wheel drive and they use the inline-3 engine, but the Yaris just looks better. The 2-door hatchback is just the closest thing we get to this is the Hyundai Veloster, which in its own right is a cool car, but I just think the Yaris does it a lot better. I mean, just look at this thing. It has such an aggressive front end, and the interior on these cars is just really good. Toyota really knocked it out of the park. Now, I think a big reason why Toyota isn't selling this in the United States is probably because they don't think it'll sell that well. Now, personally, I think this car would be a hit for car enthusiasts, but for the average person, I don't think they'd be willing to buy a small 2-door hatchback anytime soon. Let's go over some specs. The GR Yaris is powered by a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline-3 that produces 257 horsepower. And another great thing about the Yaris is its lightweight. The GR Yaris only weighs 1,280 kilograms, or 2,822 pounds. That's a pretty lightweight car, and with close to 300 horsepower, especially after tuning, this car would be an absolute missile. Now, the next car on the list is the Suzuki Jimny. Now, this is a little off-roader that I really wish we got in the United States, and there's several reasons why I would like to have this. 1, it's more reliable than the Jeeps and Ford Broncos that we get in the United States. 2, it's a whole lot cheaper. And I think this car would sell really well in the United States. It'd be a perfect car for taking out into the wilderness, going camping, and doing all kinds of overland, which has gotten a lot more popular in the United States over the past few years. So what makes the Jimny so good off-road? Well, first off is its ruggedness. The Jimny has a simple design. It has a very reliable 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine that only makes 100 horsepower, but the Jimny only weighs 1,075 kilograms or 2,370 pounds. That's literally lighter than my 2008 Honda Fit. And when it comes to off-road, the more lightweight you are, the better. The Suzuki Jimny is a car that I really wish we got here in the United States. But unfortunately, we're just going to have to wait 25 years. And now for the final car on the list is the BMW M3 Touring. So if you've been following the channel, you know I'm a sucker for wagons. They're a perfect combination of practicality while still being plenty fun to drive. Now, it's very similar to the normal M3. I don't know if it's just me, but I really think the rear end on this car actually balances out the front end. I know a lot of people hate those big front kidney grills. In the Touring version, I think it looks really good. Anyway, for the specs, it's pretty similar to the M3 we get in the United States. It uses the same 3-liter twin turbocharged inline-6 that produces 530 horsepower. Now, it is a little bit more heavier than normal M3, weighing at 1,940 kg or 4,279 pounds, but it still gets from 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Anyway, that's my list of 5 cars I wish we got in the United States. So as always, thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.